In this video, we are going to create a UGC video advertisement using our AI character we created with the product that we want to have in there. Now, this is a very simple process. It takes some time to actually do manually, but it's not very difficult when you have the right tools and you know exactly how to put the right data into these tools to give you the best outputs. Now, right now we have our character Aura that we've been building in this series, and we've been playing around with Ray-Bans as far as the product placement. Now, in our first part of the series, we created Aura, got all our characteristics, and in the second part, we started placing products in our advertisements, in our images for social media or whatever it may be. Now we want to go ahead and animate this series, take our character, and actually create an advertisement. Now, once again, I've come over here into ChatGPT, and I had it help me create the different scenes that we want. Now, the key here with your video animation to be able to control it as best as possible, obviously, you could just take your character and add a prompt of what you want to happen. But if you really want to control how this stuff plays out to make it as good as possible, you want to set a first frame and a last frame for every video that you end up generating. With those two frames, then you can prompt what happens in between. Remember, the more that we give AI the liberty to decide what happens, the more crazy it can go, the more off point it can go. So we want to provide as much data that we can so that AI knows exactly what we should have output. So we're starting here looking at different scenes we want to have. First off, I wanted to create an environment. I said, let's do like a beach bar type of setting. Can you give me that prompt for what we're looking for? ChatGPT popped that out. Then we just went ahead and had our scene 1, our scene 2, and our scene 3. Now, obviously, if you have your own ideas, you input this as well, telling you what you want. I just had standard ChatGPT kind of come up with the 3 scenes here, so we know exactly what's going on. Now, we had our first beach setting here. You can see it created our 16 by 9 here. I wanted just a 1 by 1 to give the setting, and I didn't want the glasses in the shot. And really, that all the elements of this don't matter that much. It's just that this is the environment we're going through, right? We're trying to tell the AI who, what, and where. With those pieces in there, then it has everything it needs to kind of figure out what it's creating. Then you're just prompting the visuals, the animation, what's happening in between these images that you're creating to really be able to pump this out. So we went ahead and we're creating our first scene that we want, just grabbing the prompt that ChatGPT has generated for us up here. Now I went ahead and I included a few points of data so that the AI can create what we want. We have our Aura character with her bright blue eyes shining. I have our full body shot so that it can get her body composition. We could change the outfit that we wanted. I just kept it as is, so that's a simplistic thing. We added our product in here, and then we added our beach scene. And then I just said, create the first frame of this scene. I used the prompt it gave me, and I made sure it gave me the exact aspect ratio I wanted, 16 by 9 aspect ratio here. If you're using TikTok or your short form video, you're gonna go by 9 by 16, just whatever you want, it can generate for you. And we have our first scene. Now, I went ahead and said, give me the last frame of this scene as well. Not even really providing any details on a prompt. I just had ChatGPT take the original prompt and think about where we're heading with this scene. Now, honestly, I liked this picture as our starting scene, our starting frame a little bit better, and then our last frame here where she's kind of taking off the glasses. That's where we're going to start the entire film happening here. Now, what we do is we're going to head on over into a video generation tool. Now, right here, I use Kling, and we just use Kling 2.5 Turbo. A little bit cheaper to generate. This is a free trial on here. When I do these things, I have a back-end API set up so that we're paying per usage rather than buying memberships and just going through the desktop and things. So what we want to do here with Kling 2.5, which is not their top video generation model. They have 2.6, which is stellar. Just released 3.0, which is looking amazing. So these things are just getting better and better as we go. But right now, in our just kind of walkthrough showing you how it goes, we'll use kind of the medium tier for you guys. Now, what we want to add here is all the details that we want. First off, we have our start frame and our end frame. So we're going to grab our first frame. we would grab our end frame. And then again, I came to ChatGPT and had it animate it for me. All right, so we have our animation here I just grabbed from ChatGPT. We copy paste that in. And then you can go into whatever kind of attributes that you want. You can have a prompt for the sound and the music. Right now, Kling will give you sound effects for free. Typically, we like to add sound effects and things in the post, the editing process, rather than allowing AI to do that. Even if it's voices and we have our character talking, we'll go to 11 Labs and we'll create a custom voice of our character. That way we can reuse that same voice. Same thing with the facial recognition, the body composition recognition, that consistency among your character. You need that in voice, you need that in personality, you need that in speech patterns. That's how audiences connect if you're trying to build a character that they're going to see over and over again going through. So we don't need to add any of this. We let the sound effects go. For Kling 2.5, we can only do the 1080p, which is fine. I set the length to 5 seconds, so that cuts it down to 25 credits per generation. Only need one output right now. But again, these are all things that you can manually do, and this is where we ended up. Solid first frame. She's laughing. It's got the crowd talking in the background. You know, pretty solid. You got the guy and the girl talking. You can see looking at each other in the background, so it's not like it's just a still photo behind her. You know, pretty solid stuff. Now, for our second scene, we wanted to go with just a shot of the product. Now, as I was creating this, I kind of thought, okay, what's the movement we're going for? We're obviously displaying the glasses, but we need to have something happening here. So we have her just taking out the glasses, laughing. She's putting the glasses down on the table. We get a solo shot of the glasses. And then the last scene, we're thinking she's going to be walking into the sunset or something with her man. So for our second scene here, we did the exact same thing where I grabbed the first frame and the second frame created here in ChatGPT. Ask it to create the animation for us as well, the prompt that we have, providing it those two scenes, the last frame and the first frame, so that it knows exactly what the motion is. Gave us our prompt here, and I've already generated these so we can kind of just quickly take a look. Here's what we got. All right, not bad. Just very subtle things. You can see a little bit of mess up there where the table kind of like, it kind of transforms, that little crease closes. But that's probably just because my first and last frame, the cracks are probably off. So you can see the first frame here, the cracks are not lined up. So those are things that you want to look at in your frames. Make sure those are lined up. Make sure that you have those things that aren't going to transform. And that just takes a few generations. This did that because I didn't provide it the most accurate starting data. Again, the data you provide, the first frame, last frame, are going to be very important. You want to make sure those things line up. So if I wanted to improve that, I'd go back to ChatGPT, change that first and last frame, either one of them, to make sure that the table is not different in those things. We don't need the table animated. We just need the girl pulling her hands away and then coming in on the product, right? Now, another thing with 2.5 Kling, you can see the Ray-Bans logo isn't 100% accurate. Now, if you're using VEO 3.1, you're using Kling 2.6, those things are much better and much more accurate. Kling 3.0 that just rolled out yesterday, it's going to be much better performance in that front. Now, for our last scene, what we wanted, the first original idea was that ChatGPT gave me was starting frame here where our girl and her boyfriend are just walking there, and then they walk out into the ocean, the sunset, just doing a little beach walk. I thought it would be a little bit better where instead of starting this as the first frame and it does a cut, we make a smooth transition from the end of this video into the start of the next video. So rather than creating a new first frame, I just took the last frame of our second scene there, and that was used as the first frame of this last scene. Then I just used the image of them walking to the beach as our last frame, gave me our prompt, and we were able to get this one going. All right, so we have our first generation here. Not too bad. Now, we did have a lot of the furniture disappear there just out of it. So we'd probably want to do a few variations just to kind of clean that up a little bit. But overall, that's how we can put together our 3 clips. Now we're going to go into a video editor like CapCut, or I'm using ScreenFlow here. And we will piece these all together to give it a nice smooth transition as an actual video. All right, let's take a look at what we got here. Now we'll take out the volume because they did add some sound to it, and we're gonna probably add our own sounds and things to it at the end to make it high quality. Perfect. You can see that scene 2 to scene 3 transition was perfect, and that's exactly what you want. To use the last frame of one of your scenes as the first frame of the next scene, and that's how you can have that smooth transition there. Now you can see there's a few edits we got to do. We'd want to have a few more pop-outs, like the table kind of transforms there. We lose our furniture here, and that's mostly because of the end frame that I used didn't have furniture and the benches in it. So we'd want to probably change that last frame to have the images or the furniture in it, and that would make it a little bit more transition. Now from here, you're just adding whatever your ad's going to be. You know, this is selling some Ray-Ban glasses. Looks pretty good. Overall, solid, just manual creation. Now we've gone ahead and built our AI avatar kit to allow you to do this at a much easier method where every piece is pieced together, where our AI goes and creates your script. It breaks down each individual 5 to 10 second scene. It creates prompts for the first and last frame of each of those scenes. It generates multiple variables and variations of that scene, how many ever you want. And then it gives you all of those raw files so that you can come in and edit. Now, I'm also working on setting up an editor to be able to piece those together. But honestly, the human intervention at this point of the process is kind of important. You want to have your human creatives and your skill set to be able to piece these together appropriately to really make it of high quality. But that's exactly what the AI Avatar Kit can do. Not only can it create your product ads and your characters, your talking head videos with your AI avatars, but also our UGC content here that is really just kind of taking over the world in a storm of how good it can be. This was even a lower quality video generator. We use 2.5, Kling 2.5. Kling 2.6 is out, which is of higher quality, and Kling 3.0 just rolled out as well. So these video generation tools are consistently getting better, and with our AI avatar kit, the workflows that we've built, you can connect whatever tool you want. It's all connected through the back end through APIs. You pay per usage, and you can have it all work however you want it to work with how your business works. Now, guys, you can grab the AI avatar kit right now for $197. Price bumps to $497 tomorrow, Friday at midnight. So if you want to grab this kit, look at all the little pieces, allow you to take your AI characters and quickly generate as many ads, as many generations, as many videos as you want with just a few clicks of the button. This is exactly what you want to grab today. If you guys got any questions, feel free to hit me up. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you in the next one.